sorry, my eye is itching. Do that mean I'm going to get some money? Right? When your eye itch, do that mean that I'm going to hit the lotto? I need to go play some numbers, right? Yeah, that's what many people ask me too, right? Why did you move to New York, right? Which New York is a beautiful place. Somebody said I'm trying to get out of New York, right? So the reason I left New York is New York was just so expensive. New York was expensive, and I moved to Georgia in 2004. 2004. And the cost of living was cheaper, so much cheaper, right? So than living in New York. But luckily, I did transfer down with my job, so I didn't have to look for another job, right? But oh, my eyes itching. All right, Joe. So let me get started. Let me share my slides. Well, welcome to 100K Blueprint. Discover how to transform your credit, unlock funding, and build your real estate and business legacy. If you ready, put ready in the chat. Put ready in the chat. Today's agenda in a small amount of time together, my goal is to impact everyone here in the following ways. Reveal to you how to improve your credit score quickly. Show you how to acquire up to 100K in funding. Who can use 100K in funding? James from Harlem in the house, right? Who can use 100K in funding? I can, right? Explain to you why everyone should and can be a real estate investor. Y'all, people always need a place to live. No matter what, people always need a place to live. Even if sometimes I talk to people and they be like, well, I live in an apartment. How can I buy a house for somebody else to rent out? It's okay. It's okay because everybody don't have a desire to live in a house, right? So it's okay if you live in an apartment and you buy houses to rent out. That's fine, right? People always need a place to live, right? Most importantly, I'm going to put you on the path to starting your own real estate investing and other businesses, leaving that paycheck to paycheck lifestyle behind for good. Who ready to leave paycheck lifestyle behind? Who am I? I am Dana Christian. I'm a business consultant, a mentor, entrepreneur, a credit repair specialist, a real estate developer, right? Which that's important. We're gonna have to put that on these slides, right? That's what I'm most proud of is my real estate portfolio, right? I have helped hundreds of people obtain over $1 million and more in personal business funding. I myself have well over $3 million in funding, right? Well over credit cards. Look, y'all, all over the place. I got cards all over the place and a bunch in my wallet, right? And I like to show that so that y'all know that I'm not teaching like a professor, like something I heard. I'm teaching you what I have actually done to get access to funding. But before my struggle, there was a time that I struggled due to lack of cash flow and less than favorable credit, y'all. I filed bankruptcy before. Right, but I'm going to share with you is the blueprint, the 3 steps, which is the blueprint to building wealth. These secrets have helped hundreds of people obtain over $100,000 in business and personal funding, leading them to launching a successful real estate investing business or scaling any other existing business. Because the beauty of the type of funding I'm going to teach you to get, you can use it for absolutely anything. Right, it's unsecured. Right, but some people receive more. But first, I want to ensure that everyone here who implements, that's the key word, implements the information, right, receive over $100,000 in funding, right, to put them on a path to investing in real estate. So all they have to do is rinse and repeat, right? So what I'm about to teach you took me from working in the post office, making $60,000, to investing in an apartment building that make $60,000. Think about that. The post office. And I look so miserable in this picture. But anyway, the post office, I used to make $60,000 a year, right? I had to go there 40 hours a week. This apartment building, I make that same $60,000 and I barely work in that business 2 hours a week, right? And I know some of you are thinking, well, I can't afford that. But guess what I use to purchase that property? And that's in Cleveland, Ohio. Credit cards. I use credit cards. So those of y'all thinking that, well, I don't even have that many credit cards. I got y'all. I'm going to teach you how you can get credit cards, right? I'm going to teach you how to use OPM for everything. I use other people's money, the bank's money, 0% interest business credit cards for rental properties I have, vehicles that I have purchased that I rent out, and also a whole Airbnb I furnish using business credit cards. I even invested in a suite, y'all. Y'all see me pointing right there to that name? That's Daytona Solutions. That's my other business name, right? I use business credit cards to buy a suite. When people come, clients come to rent the suite out, right? I pay the credit cards back off. Plus, I have money from my pocket. Plus, I get to enjoy it. Okay? So I'm using OPM for everything. So actually, for y'all just watching this training is going to benefit y'all. 2 lucky people at the end, so make sure you stay to the end. 2 lucky people will win $250. Who can use $250 right now? Who can use $250 right now? Let me know if you can use $250. Right? Make sure you grab your pen and paper, because note takers is money makers, and you think that you're going to remember, you're not going to remember. So we want to make sure we take notes. We want to make sure we take pictures of the screen, because I will not go back. Right? So make sure you take pictures. Right? In doing these small little things, you'll be surprised it will help you to retain more information. Make sure our cell phones is cut off. I'm going to put mine on vibrate because my son isn't in the house. I don't like to cut my phone off if he's not in the house, right? But I'm gonna put mine on vibrate, right? Because I do not want to get disturbed, right? What I'm about to teach you took me from working in the post office to being able to leverage credit to make $100,000 a month, right? Now, this was the high school that I used to go to. And I always say that I dropped out of high school, but the reality was I was kicked out because I was pregnant, right? But what I want you to know is that I went from a high school dropout to a millionaire, right? So now I'm not just saying this. This is a write-up about me that was in Yahoo Finance. It was also a write-up about me in Black News. When you get up this call, Google me, Dana Christian, and see what comes up, right? See what comes up. It was also an article about me in Black Enterprise, right? And I'm not saying this to brag. I'm just letting you know that I'm the real deal, y'all. Right. So now I know you're like, here she go with this with this lifestyle marketing stuff, right? Here she go flexing. No, but this picture isn't about me flexing. This is the day that my mindset changed. This is the day that I betted on myself 1,000%, and I was able to resign from the job, right? So I had an on-the-job injury. I had 2. 2017, I injured my right shoulder. 2018, I injured my left shoulder. So I went out of work September 6, 2018. When I went out of work, I started learning more about real estate. I was investing in real estate since 2006. But once I went out of work, I really got heavily involved, got a mentor, going to classes, and, just learning all about real estate, right? So when I went out of work and I had surgery on my right shoulder in 2019, when I went back to the doctor in 2020, he wanted to do surgery on my left shoulder. So I was like, I don't want to have surgery, right? So he was like, go back to work. I said, go back to work. But I'm saying to myself, no way I'm going back to work. Like, I'm out here getting access to, funding. By this time, I got $1 million in funding. I'm buying houses. I'm flipping houses. My credit repair business done grew. I'm like, I can't go back to work. I'm unemployable, right? So I didn't go back to work. So while I'm on IG and I'm posting, as I'm posting, houses I bought using a business credit cards, guess who's watching? The haters, right? So one of the supervisors at the job watching, and she was like, look at Dana posting on Instagram talking about she an ex-postal worker. I know she supposed to report back to work. I'm going to send her a letter to come back to work. If she don't come, I'm going to fire her, right? But first I was like, I don't care. Like, y'all haven't paid me for 2 years, right? And then I was like, I don't even care, let her fire me. Then I thought about it. I'm like, I'm not giving her that satisfaction, because the reality of it is I didn't need the job. And I realized that I was holding on just in case I needed to go back to that job. Right. So I needed to let go. So that's what this picture is about. Since she wanted to be hating on me, I said, you know what? I'm going to give her a headache. So I drove up there in the Lamborghini to resign, just to give her a headache. And honestly, this was the day that I realized that I can make it without a 9-to-5. Because honestly, I was doing it for 2 years. Right. But this is the reason that this is, the day that I let go. And by no means am I job bashing, because the post office have done a lot for me. I was there for 25 years, right? But sometimes you have to know when it's time to let go, right? So I let go and listen, and I'm fine, right? But what you're about to learn is the strategies that have helped people of all walks of life. There's people that have taken this same class that have been able to get access to funding and have been able to fix their credit. You're going to learn how I did it and how you can do it too. But I knew the key to building wealth was owning real estate, right? Or business, because when you work a job, it's only but so much you can make, right? It's a cap. Even if your job have overtime, right? It was times when, working at the post office, I'd be like, all right, I need to do 20 hours overtime this week, and there's no overtime. But when you own a business, you can determine how much you want to make. If I say, all right, I want $10,000 a month from rental income, then I know I got to do the math, right? If each house I'm making $1,000, then I know I need 10 houses, right? But when you work a job, it's different, right? But it was only after struggle and disappointment that I learned how to improve my credit. I told you I filed bankruptcy, right? Once I was able to improve my credit, I used that improved credit to get access to business and personal funding, right? Then I used that funding to invest in real estate in my other businesses, right? So like I mentioned before, this is not the typical masterclass, because honestly, y'all, my goal is not for you just to sit here and listen to me for an hour, right? My goal is to put you on a path to having good credit, getting access to funding, right? And learn how to create additional stream of income. One thing that I realize, y'all, is that money does not buy happiness, but neither does being broke. But money gives you time freedom. And that time freedom, you can figure out what makes you happy. It's all about time freedom and financial freedom, y'all, right? And one thing that I realized why we aren't getting to that next level is because we don't bet enough on ourselves. We don't bet enough on ourselves. When I say bet, right, B is for believe. We have to believe that we deserve more. Most of us don't believe that we deserve more because of whatever reason that we make up in our head, right? A lot of us don't believe that we can do it, right? That starts with it. We have to believe in ourselves, right? Then we have to educate, right? That's why you're here, getting an education. Then we have to transform until that person that we need to be, right? So if you can't hear, then it's something that's on your side because everybody else can hear me, right? It's something that's going on with your system, right? So then we have to transform until that person we need to be, because guess what? This Dana here is not the same Dana that worked at the post office. This same Dana is not the one that dropped out of high school, right? Each level of my life, I have to transform into somebody different, right? To be successful, right? That Dana that used to go to work, come home, cook dinner, sit on the couch, watch TV, and go to bed, you have to transform into that person you need to be. So listen, what I need from y'all, because I'm going to give you the information. No ifs and buts about it. Once you get off of this call, y'all going to have the information that you need, right? But I need something from y'all. I need implementation. So what is that? That's the process of putting a decision, a plan into effect and execute, right? So I need all of y'all, right, to promise that you're going to execute on the information. Because if not, why are we here? Why are we here, right? Do not be professional webinar goers. Right? Like, I know some people that's professional school goers and been in college for years taking classes, but didn't get a job for the last degree they got. Right? So I need everybody here to promise me that you're going to execute on the information. Right? So picture this, right? So listen, this is not an upsell because as you see, this day is from September 22. Right. And I just want you to know that I used to have clients that used to pay me $50,000 for one-on-one. But guess what? I don't do my one-on-ones anymore. Why? Because I like my time freedom. Right. But I want to make a deal with y'all. If I give you the 3 steps that would change your life, I need y'all to make a promise that you would do something to move forward. I need you to commit today to moving forward. Listen, I'm going to give you all the steps, but here's the key. None of it works unless you do. And just being real, y'all, I be tired of having these classes, right? Why? Because 2,000 people signed up. We got, 500 people on here. And honestly, out the 500 people that's on here, only 20 people is going to do something with the information. Only 20 people are going to do something with the information. So if you're going to be one of those 20 people, put me in the chat. Put me in the chat. Put me in the chat. Right? So even with the promise, I got like 5 promises. Right? So my question is, why are you here if you're not going to implement on the information? All right, Kaz is one of the 20. Like, the chat should be flooded right now. Right? And there's somebody here saying, I ain't putting nothing in the chat. But guess what, y'all? I have the information. I have the information. Right? I want to share with y'all. And I need y'all to take action. Right? And the problem is, a lot of us don't believe the information works. But it works, y'all. This is no fluff. The information works if you work it, right? So let's talk about how today became to be. So when I got injured at the post office in 2017, right, I was like, all right, I need to replace this job income, right? And I always say, y'all, one of the things that's stopping us from being successful, y'all, is our mindset. And a lot of people don't believe that it is our mindset, right? And the reason I say that is because when I got injured at the post office, right, I was already investing in real estate since 2006. I already had a tax business making about $200,000 a month. But when I got injured at the post office, the first thing I thought was, I got to replace this job salary. But if my mindset was right, I'd have been like, you know what? Let me take my tax business to the next level, or let me start investing in more real estate, right? But I started learning about credit, which I'm glad I did. So on my journey of learning about credit, I learned that people use credit to build wealth. People use credit cards to buy houses. People use credit cards to invest in business. And all this time, I thought credit was to buy things that I couldn't afford. Why? Because my grandmother gave me a Macy's credit card and was like, buy the kids some clothes when you don't have the money. That's what led to bankruptcy. Nobody ever taught me how to use credit to build wealth. So once I learned, right, and I'm buying houses and I'm posting on Instagram, and every single day, right, make sure you follow me on IG every single day. And now I got 200,000 followers, right? I need to do something special for y'all. But anyway, if you have ever DM'd me and I have not responded back, I apologize, because honestly, there's no way I can answer all those DMs. Why? Because I like my time freedom, right? But I want to help. Because I realized this information we wasn't taught, right? So I said to myself, imagine how much more impactful I can be if I can bring this online and break it down step by step, what took me so many years to learn. No matter where you live, right? We got people from all over. No matter how much money you have, because it's absolutely free. I always tell people, if you want to get your questions answered, jump on my webinar, jump on my live, right? Because I don't mind answering your questions for free, right? And it doesn't matter how much experience you have, because I'm going to teach you step by step, right? So if you're struggling with bad credit, put a 1 in the chat. If you have been dreaming about owning, right, owning a business, right, or owning real estate, or haven't been able to due to lack of funds, or invest in another business, put a 2 in the chat. If you're looking for a proven, effective way to build wealth no matter your current circumstances, right, put a 3 in the chat, right? Because I want to know who we have in the house, right? And one thing that I realized is not our fault. It's not our fault that we have bad credit and we don't know how to leverage credit, because you can bet your bottom dollar they do not want us to know the secrets that I'm sharing today. In fact, they want us to use credit to be a slave to debt. So that's why so many of us have bad credit. That's why so many of us done filed bankruptcy or on the verge of filing bankruptcy, right? Because we was never taught how to leverage credit, how to build credit. But guess what? I got y'all. Because I'm going to show you the exact steps to reverse that curse today, right? The trouble is so few of us don't understand the credit to wealth connection. When I start talking about how I use credit cards, the first thing that comes to people's mind is, You got to pay it back. You got to pay it back. Of course you got to pay it back. But the thing is, you use the credit to create cash flow. So you're not paying it back. If I buy a house with a credit card and I get a tenant living in the house, who you think paying that credit card back? If I get a loan for a house, who paying it back? Not me, right? So we got to change our mindset, right? But I'm going to unlock the credit to wealth connection for y'all today, y'all, right? But why is this training so important? Inflation. Everything is going up. The price of food, airline tickets, gas. How can we keep up? How can we keep up? Right? And the last thing I want you to do is to go to get a second job, because I've done that. I don't work 2-3 jobs. But one thing that I realize is that when you work a second job, right, you're not actually making more money. Why? Because now you're paying more money at tax time. You're so doggone tired that you can't spend time with your friends and family, right? But this is why we need to start a business that don't require a lot of our time. We need to invest in real estate where once you get a tenant in there, right, and you put it on a government program, you're going to get money every month, right? What would an extra $2,000 do for y'all, right? And I always say it's not about becoming a millionaire. It's really not. It's about creating financial freedom, right? And what that looks like is different for everyone, right? Because the reality of it is $2,000, $5,000 would change your life. And honestly, $10,000, let me know in the chat. If you had $10,000 a month coming in, can you live your best life? Can you live your best life? Let me know in the chat. If you had $10,000 a month coming in, would you be able to live your best life? Yes, right? And $10,000 a month is only $120,000 a year. That's not even $1 million. That's not even $1 million, right? So it's really about creating financial freedom so that we can get time freedom. That's what it's all about, y'all. That's what it's all about, right? But I want to share something with y'all. Let me know if I can share something with y'all. Let me know in the chat if I can take 5 minutes and share something with y'all, right? And the reason why I want to share something with y'all is because, you know, when I started this masterclass, you know, I talked about, me working at the post office. Of course, that's a good government job, as they call it. You know, I dropped out of high school, but, you know, I became a millionaire. I bought an apartment building. So I'm telling all these accolades, right? I'm showing y'all my little baggie of my $3 million in credit cards, right? But a lot of times people automatically count themselves out, right? Automatically, somebody on here thinking that I can't do what Dana doing. I'm not there yet, right? But what I want to share with y'all is that, you know, I grew up in New York City, you know, in the projects, a single parent home. My dad was in and out of jail. By the age of 17, I had 2 girls. Their father was on drugs, so I was a single parent. And I remember one night where I needed 2 boxes of Pampers for my daughters. I needed a small box for my youngest daughter, and I needed a large box for my oldest daughter. Y'all, I had enough money for 1 box of Pampers. I went in the bathroom, and I was crying. Like, I had nobody to help me. I went in the bathroom, I was crying, was ready to commit suicide. Went in the medicine cabinet, took out a razor blade, and was about to slice my wrist, y'all. Y'all see the mark there? About to slice my wrist. My oldest daughter banging on the bathroom door crying. I said to myself, if I kill myself, who gonna take care of them? Came out, hugged my babies, and went to the store to buy 1 box of Pampers. As I'm going to the store, I'm like, who do I buy Pampers for? Do I buy Pampers for my youngest daughter, or do I buy Pampers for my oldest daughter? Yo, I went in the store and I bought a medium box of Pampers. A medium. I needed a large and a small. I bought a medium. So that means the Pampers too small on one child and too big on the other child. As I'm walking back to the building, I got mad. When I said mad, I mean I made a decision. I made a decision that this would be the last time I will ever experience this. And I said, I have to live my life by any means necessary to take care of these kids. And have things been rough since then? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Right? It was times that when I only had enough money to feed the kids and not myself. But it never been that bad. And one thing that I realized on this journey to where I'm at, that once you get mad and make a decision, your life will change. Your life will change. Believe it or not. Do y'all believe me? That your life would change once you make a decision. Once you make a decision, that's it. Make a decision and bet on yourself. And a lot of us is in our current circumstances that's not changing because we haven't got mad yet. Right? So I need everybody to put mad in the chat. We got to get mad, because once you get mad, your situation is going to change. I'm telling y'all, you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision, and you have to bet on yourself. You have to believe, you have to educate, and then you have to transform into that person you need to be. That's it. 2 3-letter words. Mad and bet. Mad and bet, your life would change. No lie. That's all I did to change my life. Went from a high school dropout, teenage mom on welfare, to where I'm at now financially, living my best life. Why? Because I learned the power of credit. I learned the power of leverage, and I learned how to invest in real estate. And my life changed. My life changed, right? So listen, Pocky got business funding fast, right? So let's hear what Pocky have to say.
What up, fam? It's your boy Pocky, aka Pip, Passive Income Pocky. And listen, I'm doing this special testimonial for my girl Dana Christian. Listen, Dana helped me get over $150,000 in business funding in like 24 hours. It took me 2 or 3 hours to do it, but I got there really quick, and I'm not even finished yet. I still have even more to go. She gave me a sequence that actually helped me get $150,000 only with a few cards. High limits, business credit that's not affecting my personal credit. So listen, don't just take my word. Check out Dana and her business funding sequence. It works. It works for me, and it works for you.
So who can use, let me show you since the screen is big, who can use $150 in funding? Over $3 million in funding, y'all. And this ain't even all the funding. These checks in here, business lines of credit. It's possible. And you know, honestly, Pocky need to update that, because I think he got over $600,000 in funding the last I spoke with him. $600,000 in funding. What would you do with $600,000 in funding? $600,000 in funding. What would you do with that? Right? And I always say, once you learn how to get $100,000, all you got to do is rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. And one thing that I realized, that why most people don't get access to funding is because of their credit. Because of your credit. Nobody's going to lend you, no banks is going to lend you money if you have bad credit. They not, right? So what's the solution, right? Because I know there's people that's on here, right, with bad credit, right? It's to fix it, right? Do you know under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, it states that the credit bureaus must maintain 100% accurate and complete information. So that means that if there's an error on your credit report, the account have to be removed. It does not matter if you did not pay that T-Mobile bill. It does not matter if you did not pay that Macy's credit card. All that matters is if the account is reporting accurate, right? But you probably saying, how do I know? I got you. I'm going to cover y'all, right? I'm going to teach y'all how to remove negative items, right? And you know, as a small business owner, once you set up an LLC, you're a small business owner. If your business is set up correctly, the banks want to lend you money. The banks is in the business of lending money, right? But most of us don't know how to get access to the funding, right? We don't know how to read our credit report so that we be able to get access to funding, right? So in this masterclass, I'm going to give you a step-by-step strategy for accomplishing the following. improving your credit, getting access to funding, and starting you to investing in real estate as a business so that you can rinse and repeat however you want to build financial freedom. So let's dive in. Let's make sure we're comfortable and free from distractions. Because I'm going to be explaining to you how to improve your credit, how to get 100K in funding, how to start a profitable real estate investing business so that we can start building generational wealth the most effective way possible. So if you're ready, right, for step one, put ready in the chat. If you're ready for step one, put ready in the chat. Right, so now it's time to find out the most effective strategy for removing negative items off of your credit report, right? So I'm going to pull up a credit report. And remember I said under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, oh my goodness, where is my credit report at? Okay, give me a second, y'all. Sorry, I thought I had the credit report up. But okay, so I don't have a credit report up, and I hate to go through all this because I ain't with the thing. It should have been right here, Lord. Okay, so on the credit report, right? You know what? Give me a second. Let me try to get it for y'all. There's something. Listen, I can't even pull up a credit report, so I'm going to talk you through it. I'm just going to talk you through a credit report, right? Because I don't have it on my screen. I'm on a different computer. Sorry, y'all. Okay, so when you look at a credit report, right, what you looking for is to see if everything matches on the credit report, meaning TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian must report the exact same information. So that means on every single line, right? On every single line, it must matches from the date the account was open to the last day reported to the amount that's owed to the status of the account. Everything must match, right? So you don't have to prove to the credit bureau that that the account isn't reporting accurate. They have to prove to you, right? So the first thing that you want to do is get a copy of your credit report. I recommend Identity IQ because all three of the credit bureaus is side by side, right? So the first thing that you want to do is send a basic dispute letter. So now you don't have to remember everything that I'm saying verbatim, right? Because there are letters in the Facebook group. And what I'm going to do, make sure you get into the free Facebook group, because what I would do a video and I post it. So as soon as we get off of this training, I will post a video on how to read the credit report inside the free Facebook group, right? So I do that for you, right? So actually, I do that for you and I post it, right? So the first thing you want to do is start the basic dispute, and that's just initiating the dispute, right? So the first letter you send will go like this. I recently got a copy of my credit report, and I noticed several inaccurate information. Right, I feel that these accounts is negatively affecting my credit, right, and costing me thousands of dollars in interest every year. It is my understanding that you will investigate these items for me to ensure accuracy, right? Here are the items that I'm asking you to verify is accurate, right? Then you will list like T-Mobile, please delete. Capital One, please delete, right? After your investigation is complete, please send me a copy of the results via mail. Thank you, right? One or two things is going to happen. Either they're going to delete it or they're going to come back and say, we verified this account as accurate. At that time, you will send a second letter. Thank you for investigating my dispute. But upon my own investigation, I noticed that you, TransUnion, is reporting, let's just say it's a T-Mobile bill. T-Mobile T-Mobile account opened September 1st, 2019, but Equifax have December 2nd, 2020. How is this possible for y'all to have different information if you get your information from the same source, right? Please delete, right? Again, all these letters in the Facebook group, and I will do a short video and post it in the Facebook group so y'all can see exactly what I'm talking about. I will do that tonight. So make sure you get in the free Facebook group, 100K Blueprint, and I will post that for y'all tonight. Okay, so let's talk about some things that we can do to improve our credit. Pay our bills on time. One late payment will drop your credit score up to 100 points. Right? Late payments is one of the hardest things to get off of your credit report. So it's important that we pay our bills on time. And if the date that your due date don't work for you, call the creditors and change the date. Right? Let's just say your car payment is due on the 10th, but you just paid your rent on the 5th. You don't got no money yet. Right? So you can call and be like, I need to change my statement due date to the 20th or whatever date best works for you. Right? On your personal credit cards, you want to keep your utilization under 30%. So what does that mean? Let's just say let's say that your credit limit is $1,000. Once you use over $300, it's going to decrease your credit score, right? So you want to keep your utilization on your personal credit cards under 30%, right? Don't apply for no new accounts without a plan. Why? Because one, the 0% interest starts as soon as you get that card in the mail. Now you might be like, well, let me just go ahead and apply for some credit cards. I'm not ready to use it yet to invest, but that 0% interest starts right away. Right? Never pay for a collection without a pay for delete. Meaning, let's just say you got this T-Mobile bill and it's $50. We're like, you know what? I'm going to just pay this. I don't got time to be going back and forth with these credit bureaus. Right? If that's the case, you call a collection company and ask them, if I pay this in full, would you delete it off my credit report? And 9 times out of 10, they will say yes, or you just keep on calling until you get someone to say yes. Right? So what does a good credit report look like? When we start talking about funding, somebody's going to say, what do the credit score have to be? When you're applying for credit cards or personal loans, which is unsecured funding, right? They are looking at your credit worthiness to pay back debt, right? So they looking at what's reporting on your credit report. So they looking to see if you have 100% on-time payments. 5 or more positive mixed accounts. When I said mixed accounts, that's credit cards and installment loans, right? Then high credit limit. Your credit cards should have at least a $5,000 limit or higher. This is why, like credit unions, it's easier to get $5,000 from a credit union than it is a major bank. No collections, no charge-off, no bankruptcies. If you have those items on your credit report, what does it mean? It means that you owe somebody some money, right? Which I filed bankruptcy before too, right? But my point is nobody's going to lend you money if they can, feel like you don't pay people back, right? But the good news is bankruptcies, collections, and charge-off all can be removed off of your credit report, right? Through the credit repair process. 2-year credit history. So you should have some type of account that you have on your credit report for at least 2 years and no more than 3 inquiries per credit bureau. If your credit profile meets these qualifications, your credit score would be 700, right? It would be 700. So when you're applying for funding, if your credit score is under 680, right, then that means if you got a late payment or your utilization is high, or you got collections, charge-off, or bankruptcies, right? And or too many inquiries, and all those items will get you denied funding, right? So what's a hard pull, soft pull, right? I get this question all the time. So what's a hard pull on a credit report? What's a soft pull? A soft pull is when a lender take a peek at your credit profile in order to qualify you for funding, right? When they just look, right? Soft pulls does not affect your credit score. Hard pulls is when the creditor actually get a hard copy of your credit report, and then you will see an inquiry on your credit report. right? Hard inquiry, stay on your credit report for 2 years. Any more than 3 per credit bureau, right, will get you denied funding. So if you have more than 3 inquiries and it's not attached to open personal account, you want to get them removed off of your credit report. Again, I have those letters inside the free Facebook group, right? Improving your credit. What does improving your credit do for you? It opened up the doors to funding. It opened up the doors to funding. The banks want to lend you money, but they want to just know that they can trust you, right? So step 1 is fix your credit. Step 1 is fix your credit, right? Before you move on to step 2, right? So if you have any negative items off on your credit report, we have to fix that first, right? Listen, this said you're going to be surprised how much funding is out there available to you. Again, the banks want to lend you money. They want to lend you money, right? This is how they make money, right? So I have a question, right? You get off this call and you get $100,000 in funding. What you going to do with it? Let me know in the chat. What you going to do with the money? What are you going to invest it in? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. So yeah, so banks look at your personal credit in order to get business funding. Yes. Yes. So the name of the Facebook group is 100K Blueprint. Fatima Clark, she put the list there. Send the letter certified too, because yes, you can send a letter certified. So the Facebook link is up there, and I'm going to do the video tonight as soon as we get off. What if my utilization is, so you have to pay down. So if your utilization is 75 to 80%, right? What I would recommend you doing is getting a personal loan, right? A personal loan does not affect your credit like credit cards do, right? So I will go to a credit union and get a personal loan and pay down the high utilization, right? So invest in my business, properties, pay down, okay, down payment on the property, my catering business, share living, okay, property, laundromat, condo. I just want to make sure nobody say they going on vacation, right? That they going on vacation or they going shopping, right? So listen, y'all, you use borrowed money to create cash flow. Then once you get the cash flow, right, then you could go on vacation. Then you can go on vacation. Okay, I see the laundromats, grow my money. Grow your money how? Apartment complex. I have to fix my credit first. Any suggestion? So go through the credit repair process. I'm going to put a video on the free Facebook group and to show you how to fix your credit. I'm going to put a video in there. All right, so I just want to make sure everybody, if I qualify for a personal loan with a low credit score. Sometimes you can, if you're doing a debt consolidation, you can. So it depends on how low. If it's in the 4s, no. But if it's in the 5s, then yes. Listen closely, y'all. These next few slides, I'm going to tell you the secret on how to get funding, right? The key to getting the most funding is knowing which credit bureaus the banks pull from. So you might be saying, well, why is that important, Dana? Look at it like this, right? Think about it like this. Say your cousin Henry borrow money from your sister, your brother, and come and ask you to borrow money. What would you tell Henry? Henry done borrow money from everybody in the family, right? You gonna say no. But if Henry borrow money from somebody at their job, you don't know. There's somebody at their apartment complex, you don't know. They best friend you don't rock with, right? So you don't know. Then Henry come and ask you to borrow some money, what would you say? Right? You're going to ask the family, did Henry borrow money from you? They're going to be like, nah, he ain't borrow no money from us, right? Then you're going to lend him money. Banks is the same way, right? So you want to go to banks that only pull from one credit bureau, right? So you want to go to banks that only pull from TransUnion, only pull from Equifax, and only pull from Experian. So that way you can maximize the amount of funding you get. Because again, remember, you have too many inquiries, they're going to start denying you funding, right? So now, TransUnion. So one of the banks, right, that I want to recommend that only pulls from TransUnion is Apple, right? In order to apply for Apple, you have to have an Apple login. So you have to have either like a MacBook, an iPhone, or an iPad, right? So now, remember I said soft pull, hard pull, right? So now Apple have a soft pull pre-qualification. So what does that mean? So that means Apple would take a peek at your credit report and qualify you, right? So you apply for Apple and they say, congratulations, Latasha, you have been approved for $20,000. Click here to accept. At that time, you don't accept it right away. You go to transunion.com and you freeze your TransUnion credit report. You wait 10 minutes, then you come back and you accept the offer. Then you will have the Apple credit card with no hard pull. I'm going to say it again. Apply, freeze transunion.com, then you accept. You got that? Apply, freeze, accept. Listen, y'all, this do not work with any other banks. So don't say, well, I tried it with Navy and it didn't work. Right? I tried it with Bank of America and it didn't work. Okay? It only works, y'all. It only works with Apple. You got it? Let me know if you got it. Let me know if you got it. Apply. I don't know. It's a lag in the chat. Apply, freeze, and accept. That's right, Jazz. Apply, freeze, and accept. Okay? So, again, they have a pre-qualification, right? So, you apply, you go to transunion.com, you freeze your credit report, and then you accept. Yes, your credit score needs to be 680 or higher. So Apple is through GM. It's through Marcus, right? But you go to app is the website is app.apple.com. All right. So it's app. Yes, that Apple. So apply, freeze. Okay, so we got it. Okay. So I don't know what the maximum amount is that they give you. I'm not sure what the maximum amount is they give you, right? So now, Experian. So now we go to Experian. So it's two reasons, right? When we come to Experian and we apply for American Express, it's two reasons they don't see the Apple credit card. One is because we don't have a hard inquiry. And second, they don't look at TransUnion. They only looking at Experian, right? So now, American Express has 14 different credit cards. You can apply for 5 at one time, right? You can apply for 5 at one time. So now, some of my favorite is the Platinum, right? So now the Platinum do have, so Apple is personal. American Express is business and personal. So now American Express, I like the Platinum, but the Platinum does have an annual fee of like $650, right? But you get a lot of perks with it, right? So just see if that works for you. Then I like the American Express Clear Blue, right? I like the Clear Blue and I like the Blue Cash. So the reason I like those two is because both of them have no annual fee. They have 0% interest for 12 months. Okay. So I like that's 3. I like the American Express Marriott because I like to stay at Marriott hotels, right? So I like that one. And I like the Delta. I like the American Express Delta one. I like that one because you get a free companion ticket every year. You get to check your bags free when you're flying on Delta, right? So again, American Express has 14 credit cards, right? They have 14 credit cards. See what best ones that fit your need, right? You can apply for 5, one right after another, right? Keep on applying until they deny you. And you will have one inquiry. And if you already have American Express card, you will not get another inquiry. You will not get another inquiry. And I hate to tell this to y'all, but American Express is bankruptcy friendly, meaning if you have a bankruptcy and it's like 5 years old and you started reestablishing credit, right, then they are bankruptcy friendly, right? Long as they wasn't included in your bankruptcy. I have a lot of clients that have a bankruptcy was still able to get American Express, right? But of course, if you have a bankruptcy, you definitely want to get those removed just to, to get those higher limit credit cards, all right? So now when we come to Equifax, right? And we come to Digital Federal Credit Union, right? They have no idea you just got 5 credit cards from American Express. Why? Because they only look at Equifax. But now I'm going to pull up Digital Federal Credit Union because so many times people say, Dana, I don't see where to join. Like, I don't know how to join, right? So when you come to any credit union, right, what you want to look for is membership eligibility, right? So you want to find out, how can I become a member of this credit union? And I'm going to tell you in a minute why you want to become a member, right? So you look at the requirements, right? If you have a family member, if you work in one of the companies that they associate with or associate by organization you belong to, right? Eligible for a community, right? So then you come down to the bottom. They have tons of employers. I'm not going through this list, but you can definitely look and see if your job is on this list. But I'm coming down to, Lord, it's a lot. I'm coming down to participating organizations, right? So if you are a member of one of these participating organizations, or if you join one, you are automatically eligible to join DCU. Once you join, you can remain a member for life, right? Each one of these organizations is open to everyone, but I'm cheap, so I'm gonna come to that one they have for $10. So I'm going to join this organization, donate $10, and now become a member. So you might be saying, well, Dana, why do I want to become a member of this credit union, right? Several reasons. One, they have auto loans, right? And they auto loans, no payment is due for 90 days, right? And we're going to talk more about that a little later. We start talking about businesses. They have 2 credit cards, right? But I'm going to show you something with their credit cards, right? No annual fee, no balance transfer fee, and no cash advance. So many times people say, how can you take the money off of the credit cards without a cash advance fee? Right? So you want to get credit cards with credit unions because they don't charge a cash advance fee, right? So that's one reason why you want to join, right? Second one, they have business products, right? So they have business credit cards. They have lend for real estate. Like you say, you want to get involved in real estate. They also lend for real estate. So now, those of us that have challenged credit, right? So those of y'all that have bad credit, we working on our credit. They have something that's called a quick loan, right? So once you become a member, right? Once you become a member, then you can apply for a quick loan. They lend up to $2,000 and there is no credit check or no hidden fees, right? This helps you to build your credit and to improve your credit score by making on-time payments, right? So DCU has something for everybody. So if you have good credit, they got credit cards for you. If you have bad credit, they have products that can help you build your personal credit, okay? It will help you build your personal credit. So DCU is definitely a bank that I recommend. And I hate to even tell y'all this, y'all, but I had a client that they had a bankruptcy. Their credit score was 620. You know, they was able to get a $20,000 credit card from DCU, right? So I don't want to encourage y'all. Well, we was working on their credit, but I was like, I just told them just to open up an account with them. I said, just open up an account and I'll tell you what to do later. So they done went and applied for a credit card. They was like, dang, I got $20,000. I was like, you what? So yeah. So again, they have a lot of products. They have a lot of products to help you, build your credit, right? Y'all, please, please, please do not keep bad credit. You are doing yourself a disservice. I know that we wasn't taught about credit, right? But it opened up so many doors. It opened up so many doors. I'm telling you, bad credit is expensive, right? So listen, a good credit profile has at least 5 or more positive accounts. I told you how to get the Apple credit card without a hard pull. If you have a family member that has good credit, ask them to add you on to one of their credit cards as an authorized user. As an authorized user, you let them know, listen, you're not going to give me the credit card. You're going to keep the credit card, right? My bad credit will not transfer over to you, but your good credit from that credit card, right, will transfer over to me, and that will help me build positive credit. So I have a question, y'all. What type of entrepreneur are you? Right? What type of entrepreneur are you? Are you a looking to make some extra cash? That was me. When I first started doing my tax business, like I needed some extra money, right? I was working 3 jobs like this and getting it. Are you a B? Continue to work your full-time job, but looking for consistent side income. That was me when I started investing in real estate. I needed some consistent side income, which that helped out when I got hurt at the job because they didn't pay me for 5 months. But because I had my consistent side income, I was able to pay my bills. So are you a C? Right? Quit your job and become a full-time real estate investor. That's what I am now. And that's what my daughters are, right? Full-time real estate investors and quit their job. Step 3. Are you ready for step 3? So we know step 1 was fixing your credit. What's step 2? Let me know in the chat. What's step 2? What is step 2? Getting access to funding. That's right. Getting access to funding. Right? When you start in your business, we got to make sure our business is what the banks consider credible, lendable, and fundable. So what does that mean? We got to make sure that our business is set up correctly, right? So that we can get access to funding, right? So there's certain things that we need in place, which we're going to go over, right? First is having a business structure, right? It's having a business structure. A sole proprietorship, that's you doing business as, it does not get registered anywhere. Then we have an LLC, which is limited liability company, right? Your business get registered with the Secretary of State. Then we have corporation. Again, your business is registered with the Secretary of State. And then an S Corp. So many times people be like, oh, I have an S Corp. An S Corp is a tax election. So what that means is you are LLC, but you are paying less in taxes, right? You're paying less in taxes. And then a partnership is more than one person, right? So by no means I'm giving you legal advice as to what to set up. You definitely want to get with your tax professional to find out which one best suits you. But when you're setting up your business, you make sure you register with the Secretary of State. All right, whatever state that you're doing business in. Each business have its own employee identification number, EIN. Right, that's absolutely free from the IRS. Business address. Every business should have an address, right? Do not use a P.O. box or a mail pack center or a staple store. You can get a virtual address, right? Some good options is Regis, Opus, right? Make sure you have an address and, the suite number. Business bank account, right? Each business should have a business bank account, right? Who should you get a business bank account with? See what they have to offer, right? What do they have to offer you? Do they have business credit cards? Do they have business lines of credit, right? You want to make sure they have something to offer you. Business telephone number. Each business should have a telephone number. On the application, you should be putting down your personal number and also a business telephone number. Okay? I have seen people get denied funding for having one telephone number. Okay? Business email address. Y'all, let's be professional. I do not want to see no business addresses as Big Booty Julie 123 at yahoo.com. All right? Or Sweet Cheeks. Right? Or Mr. Man at yahoo.com. Okay? Your business email address should be info at yourbusinessname.com. Info at yourbusinessname.com. Like one of my business name is Daytona Solutions, so it's info at DaytonaSolutions.com. All right? Dana at OneChoiceTaxService.com. So if you need help setting up your LLC because you want to make sure you're in compliance, I have someone on my team that can help you. Fatima Clark is putting the job form there to fill out, right? Sometimes we have to invest a little money so that we be able to get a little money, y'all. Right? So my question to y'all is not that it's going to cost this much, but let's just say, right, it was an investment of $500 to set up your LLC, and then you can get $50,000 from the bank. Would you do it? Would you do it? Right? So you can get a business email address and telephone number from GoDaddy, G Suites, right? Google Voice. It could be a free Google Voice number, right? But you just need to have 2 telephone numbers, right? So, and remember I said everything starts with the mindset, right? So when we thinking about setting up our business, right, we can't look at it as a cost. It's an investment, right? It's an investment to set up our business so that we be able to get access to funding and a business website, y'all. This week I just applied for a line of credit and they asked about my website. My website is down because I don't even really use that business no more, right? But I was like, oh, Lord, I'm going to have to go and set this website back up, right? So get a one-page website. It don't have to be long. GoDaddy, like $97, and they will help you set up the whole thing. They will help you set up the whole thing. Okay? List your business with 411. These businesses Googling us. I had opened up a bank account at US Bank. And the rep called me. She was like, oh, I Googled you. I said, what? She was like, yeah, I Googled you. And she Googled my name and my business name. Yep. She Googled to see what came on. She was like, oh, you're doing great things. So these business is Googling you. So make sure you have some type of online presence, right? We want to, even if some of y'all probably saying, well, I haven't even started my business yet. I'm not even doing business, but set it up like you are. Set it up like you are, because these business is checking to make sure. Think about this. You're a brand new business, right? You don't have to be making no money yet, right? Because you got to leverage your personal credit, right? So these banks is looking, okay, is this person a real business? Are they set up right? Remember, the banks have money for small businesses, startup businesses. So they want to lend to you, but they want to make sure that your business is set up properly, right? So if you need help, click the job form, right? And I have somebody on my team that can help you. I know some of you are saying, well, how much is it? It all depends on what state that you in. So once you fill it out, they will let you know how much it costs to get your business set up properly, right? Do not use a post office box, right? You can use your home address, but you have to remember, right? If you use your home address on the Secretary of State website, right, it's going to have your home address, so everybody's going to know where you live at, right? So that's something to think about, right? So website and the address. So where's the link? Fatima, can you put the link? Fatima, can you put the link? Right? So qualifications for business credit cards. Listen, y'all, I don't care what you heard on the internet that you can get business credit cards with a 580 credit score. Those are lies. Those are lies. Those are lies. In order to get business credit cards from major banks, you have to leverage your personal credit. On the application, it will say your business information, then they want your information. Where it says social security number, you have to put your social security number. So what are they looking for? Right? They're looking to see if you have a credit card that's at least 2 years old with a $5,000 limit. Right? This is why I like credit unions. It's easier to get a $20,000 credit card from a credit union than it is Bank of America or Chase. Especially if you don't have really strong credit. All right? No negative items. So that means no collections, no charge-off, no bankruptcies. All right? No new accounts in the last 6 months. Utilization on your personal credit card should be under 30%, right? No more than 3 inquiries per credit bureau, right? So now this is personal. Remember, business credit cards do not report, right? So this is why as soon as you're able to qualify for business credit cards, you want to be able to move over to business credit cards, right? Because you can max those credit cards out and you can still get more cards because it does not report, okay? So if your credit score meet these qualifications, your credit will be at least 700. Okay, so this is the qualifications for business credit cards. So now, a lot of people said they wanted to get started in real estate. Right? So a good option is hard money lender. So now with a hard money lender, right, it doesn't mean that it's hard to get. It means that it's a loan against a hard asset, which is a property. To qualify for a hard money loan, you don't have to have a job. They don't ask for tax returns. They don't ask for W-2s, right? The only thing they care about is that hard asset, which is a house. That's all they care about, that hard asset, right? They're never going to lend you 100% of how much you need, right? Usually they will lend you anywhere from 70% of the return after repair value, right? If you are buying a rental, right? If you buying a rental, they have a loan that's called DSCR loan, right? That DSCR loan is based on how much income is coming in from the property, right? So if let's just say that you are collecting $1,500 in rent, and let's just say the mortgage is $1,000, you qualify. Why? Because more income is coming in than how much your payment is. Okay. Yeah. So So I'm going to put a website, www.leewayfinancing. That's the company I've been using. Let's see, financing.com. Right? So just save that website, leewayfinancing.com. So when you're ready, right, they can definitely help you get access to a hard money lender. Okay, so this is a great option. Again, you don't have to have perfect credit. Your credit score can be anywhere from 620 to 680, right? There's different lenders. So that's why I have that range, but you don't have to have a perfect credit. Your business does not even have to be making any money. All right, your business does not have to even be making any money because they lending you based off of the asset. All right, it's based off of the asset. Okay. Why real estate? Over the last 2 centuries, y'all, 90% of the world's millionaires have been created by investing in real estate. I became a millionaire first. Can you repeat the name again? The link is in the chat. Leeway Financing. Look in the chat. I put it in the chat. Right? Listen. I became a millionaire first by investing in real estate. Real estate is the best kept secret, y'all. Leverage. You can leverage one property to buy another property. Income. It create monthly income. When I got injured at the post office and they didn't pay me for 5 months, but because I had my rental properties, I was still able to pay my bills. The asset appreciate, meaning that the properties only go up in value. It's a tax write-off. You buy a house, right? Listen, y'all, the game is so crazy when it comes to real estate. As the house appreciate, when you buy a house, you can write it off on your taxes. So if you spend $100,000 on a house, right? You write that, even if you got a loan for it. Even if you got a loan for the house, right? So it's not like you got to pay cash. Think about this. You use borrowed money to buy a house, right? Now you can write that the amount you paid for the house off on your taxes plus the interest. Like the game is just crazy, y'all. The game is crazy when it comes to real estate. The credit to wealth, like this is the secret they don't want us to know. They would have taught us this in school, y'all. You use OPM. Other people money to purchase assets, right? Whether it's credit cards, hard money, private money, right? You use somebody else's money to buy an asset. That asset create cash flow. Then that cash flow, you use it to pay down the debt. And you rinse and repeat. This is the stuff they don't want us to know. This is the stuff that they don't want us to know. Yes, Donald Trump was teaching it and they ignored him. Yes. Yes. You know why? Because the first thing that we think is, oh, I can't afford that. I don't have no money. Listen, I just posted on my Instagram page how my mentee bought a house for $900. For $900. The first thing we think is, oh, I don't have the money. I can't afford that. But you don't have to have the money, right? You leverage your credit. You can use credit cards. You can use personal loans. You can use hard money, right? There's so many options. You don't have to actually physically have your own money and you just rinse and repeat. So how do you find these houses? You can always get with a realtor. Tell a realtor you're looking for a property. Tax lien properties. My mentee, she bought that property from a tax lien property in Detroit, $900. 2 weeks ago, I bought a property for $17,000, a duplex. $17,000. A wholesaler, or you can wholesale yourself. What is a wholesaler? A wholesaler is a person that sells off-market properties. Auctions, auction.com. Right? So there's properties out there. Last night, y'all, on my mentees, on my inner circle, we was looking up properties. They got properties 10,000, $15,000. There's properties out there. You just have to know how to find them, right? And so many times we just assume, like somebody said, they say you can't buy with credit cards. I purchased over 35 doors using credit cards. So I don't know. I'm telling you what I did. Last year so Detroit have an auction once a year. Last year, when they had their auction, 30 of my students bought properties with credit cards from an auction. So I don't know. I don't know who they are. I am. So I don't know who they are. Honestly, don't. Information change your situation. Long-term rentals, right? Why do we want long-term rentals, right? And what is that? That's a process of becoming a landlord. Tax benefits is crazy. The properties appreciate. And the best part is somebody else is paying down your debt, your tenants. This is the real way to build wealth. Y'all. Let's talk about the BRRRR method. What is that? You buy a property below market value, right? You rehab that property, right? You do some repairs. Then you rent that property out. Then you refinance the property and you repeat the process. Right? So the BRRRR method, you buy a property for $50,000, you rehab it for $50,000. ARV, let's just say that after you fix it up is worth $150,000, you rent it out. If you buy 10 properties, that means that your net worth is $1.5 million. 10 properties, cash flow of $1,500 a month is $15,000 a month. Gross, yes, but our job pay us $30,000. That's gross. Right? But you still gonna bring home about $8,000 a month doing nothing. And all you have to do is keep on growing with that. Right? The best kept secret. So this property right here is in Cleveland, Ohio. I purchased this property for $20,000, 2019. The rehab was $45,000. I used all business credit cards for it, right? So the top unit, y'all, at the time, I was renting it for $900. The bottom unit I was renting for $750, right? So that's $1,650. So the top unit, the lady went and got Section 8, right? She got Section 8. Now I'm getting $1,399. So the rent went up $500 and I didn't do anything. So the bottom tenant, she was paying $750. She moved out and another tenant then moved in, right? Now I'm charging $1,000. So I'm getting $2,400 for investment of $6,500. But guess what, y'all? I made my money back already that I spent on it. And I can sell this property for $150,000. Another property that I bought in Cleveland, Ohio. And all this is I'm using business credit cards. This property here, I bought $50,000. All I had to do was paint and carpet. I think it was under $5,000. I rent it out for $1,400 a month. And I need to update this picture because this is an 8-unit that I purchased for $35,000. The rehab is about $280,000. But this property, once it's done, it's going to bring me in $72,000 a year. $72,000. That's more than I was making at the post office job. My post office job was only $60,000. There's deals out there, and guess what? I'm using credit cards to do it. I'm using credit cards. Now, this is a property here. This is in Atlanta, right? I purchased this property in 2006 from an auction.com. Y'all, when I went to the auction, I was like, I'm leaving there with something because I got outbidded for everything that I wanted. And we used to drive for dollars. That's when you drive around looking for property. So I knew the street. So they gave you a list of houses. And I knew the street, our street, right? And they were saying that the house was worth $365,000. At the time, I didn't know all that fraud stuff was going on in 2007, 2008. So I bid it $87,000 for the house. After the auction, We go to see this house. We driving to go see this house. We driving, going past where all the rehabs was at, pass over the railroad station, railroad track. We get to this block, y'all. It's 4 houses on this block. I'm like, what did I just buy? What did I just buy? Y'all, it was 4 houses on the block. But the house was rehab. It was rent ready. We put a for rent sign in the ground. Somebody moved in. This lady was happy that we had a ceiling fan. She was ecstatic it had a dishwasher. She stayed in this house for 15 years. The only reason she moved, because I told her I was selling the house. And I did sell a house. I sold it to my business. And the reason I sold it to my business, because I wanted to rehab it, and it was in my personal name. Back in 2007, I knew nothing about buying stuff in the business name. Now houses on the block are selling for $600,000. This house got appraised for $550,000. From 87 to 500,000. So my message to y'all is, 1, don't wait to buy real estate. You buy real estate and wait. And don't be scared of those ugly houses. Don't be scared of those ugly houses, because houses can do nothing but appreciate in value. Right? So let's talk about some other businesses we can start. Right? Rental car business. Rental car business is easily a 6-figure business. How can it be? Right? So let's just say you buy 10 economy cars. You get access to $100,000 in funding. You go buy 10 economy cars. Each economy car will bring you in about $1,300. Right? 1,300 times 10 is $13,000 a month. Right? Times 12 is what? $160,000, whatever. But anyway, you can get economy car. All you need is a tracker. You can go to Amazon and get a car tracker. Take some pictures, and you can list your vehicle on one of the peer-to-peer platforms like Turo, Haiya Car, Get Around. There's clients waiting for you, right? You can go into to Uber and Lyft Facebook groups. Let them know you have vehicles to rent. We got 10 vehicles. I never see those vehicles. Those vehicles stay out. Easy money, passive. Credit repair business. When I said put 1 in the chat, you saw all those people putting 1 in the chat? People have bad credit. We charge an average of $1,000 per person. Now, I know some of you are saying, where I'm getting these clients from. Okay, on the rental car business, there's clients waiting, right? There's clients waiting on Turo, Haiya Car, and Get Around, right? There's clients waiting on the Facebook group. But think about who works with people with bad credit. Realtors, used car dealers, mortgage brokers. Imagine contacting 5 realtors. Hi, my name is Dana. I'm a certified credit consultant. I would like to partner with you to help you get your clients to the closing table. What you think they're going to say? Yeah. And if you contact 5, each one just send you 1 client a week. That's 20 clients a month. The average credit repair is $1,000. $1,000. That's $20,000 a month. That's $250,000 a year. Those same clients, right? You can help them build business credit, get access to business funding. Everybody want American Express, right? You get them $100,000 in funding. You charge 10% your success fee. That's $10,000 a month, right? There's so much money to be made out here, y'all. So much money to be made. But listen, I want you to write down these 3 mistakes, because I ain't about to act like I done did everything perfect, because I done made some mistakes. Okay? Mistake number 1, not using credit to create cash flow. That was the biggest mistake I ever made. Improve your credit, then use that credit to purchase assets. OPM can be a powerful wealth builder, y'all, when used correctly, but money management is key. Mistake number 2, not structuring my business correctly, y'all. If you have an EI number and you have not registered your business with the Secretary of State, you don't have a business, right? If you're using your P.O. box, right, you will not get access to funding, right? If your personal credit is not in position,